Yo, what's going on, peeps? We're back with another vid. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share. This is the Euro roundup. I done a video 4 days ago, so I'm doing this video now because I did say I was going to do a video after I did the Tottenham video about the manager situation, which is a joke. But if you want to know more about that, go watch that vid and how I feel about that. I'm not doing that on here. But the last Euro video was 4 days ago, and if I remember correctly, I don't think I done the what's that game there? The France and Germany game. I don't think I did it because it hadn't kicked off as yet, so I'm gonna quickly touch on that one. Then I'll get on to the other fixtures. Just quickly brief because it wasn't really a great game. Germany were off the pace, and France came out with the winners, maybe had more. Squandered a few chances, but Germany weren't great and didn't actually deserve anything from that game. But it took a Matt Hummels own goal to get France over the line. Again, first game, it's a big one as well. So a lot of teams are suffering with the first game nerves, not just Germany, not France. So it is what it is, but France turned out worthy winners and they went marching on. We'll be talking about them in a bit, but I just want to cover that game because I don't think I covered it. And now we're going on to Italy, who played Switzerland, comfortable 3-0 winners and comfortably through to the round of 16. Pretty much standard procedure for them, to be honest. Weren't really threatened in any of their opening games. They were brilliant against, in their first game, I believe it was against Turkey. No, not Turkey. Did they play Turkey? Yeah, they played Turkey in their first game. It was a little dicey in the first opening exchanges, and then after the second half came in, then Italy were just running the show. And against Switzerland, from start to end, bossing the game. Switzerland didn't their glove. Midfield battle was, well, even a battle. The midfielders stayed on the bus or at the team hotel because they didn't need to be there. They didn't do anything. So Italy are through comfortably. Now they're looking at favourites because they are playing probably the better football out of all the so-called favourites that are being tossed around. So what's this space? Netherlands, they were playing Denmark. They won 2-1, and they were a goal down in the opening couple of minutes. Good finish from Poulsen. I think he plays at Leipzig, but Denmark were only good for 20 minutes. Let's make this clear. It wasn't like they were bossing the whole half or anything. They didn't have a half. They had a quarter of that. They played well for 20 minutes, and after that, it was all Denmark. It was all Belgium. And once they went to half time, second half came, De Bruyne came on, and literally just like that, whole game changed. And he changed the game with the passes and everything we know he's capable of doing that he didn't do in that Champions League final. He done all in that game. Scored a goal, playing some lovely passes, lovely crosses, putting it on a plate. Meunier comes through, he grabs the equaliser. Again, he's on this. No, it wasn't Meunier actually. It was Hazard, Thorgan Hazard. Sorry, not Meunier. It's Thorgan Hazard. You know, the great Eden Hazard's brother. He stepped up, couldn't miss from there. Little tap in, and then I believe Kevin De Bruyne, perfect, lovely finish after lovely team goal. Nice slick passing and typical De Bruyne-esque finish. At the end, keeper had no chance, and they are pretty much, they're safe, they're through. They've won both their games, so they're out of here. And Netherlands and Austria. Now this Netherlands performance was a lot better than the first one. They bossed the game from start to end. Austria couldn't contain Dumfries on the right hand side. He has so much energy, just up and down that flank all day. He was up and down, giving Alaba a hard time. And Alaba didn't really get in the game until around the 75th, 80th minute. He started coming in, taking shots, which he should have been doing 70 minutes earlier, but they just couldn't contain the dynamic of that Dutch midfield. Ronaldo pulling the strings, slowing it down, speeding it up. They just couldn't contain him. They couldn't, no matter how much they tried to force him, he was taking his time, just like it's in slow motion for him. And they came out worthy winners, and I think they're through. They won their first game. They won that game with 6 points. I think it's safe to say they're going through. Obviously, the England video we're going to talk about later on. I'll be dropping that video later. Let me just say this disclaimer. As of now, the Spain and Poland game is actually kicking off right now. It's now 8 o'clock. So I won't be talking about that one until the next vid. But it hasn't kicked off. Let me just put that out there. And Hungary and France. Hungary won. France won. France dropped the bag. Had the opportunity to go and just take the pressure off themselves and make it 2 wins and 2 and make it safely through. They're pretty much there. They're 4 points, but who knows? If they lose their game and Hungary somehow beat Germany, never know. Or whatever happens, I doubt it. Or Portugal win and Germany win, then it might be a bit of a problem for France. They really should have got it wrapped up today, if we're being honest, but I don't see them going out, to be honest. Portugal, which I'm going to get into in a bit, I don't know if they'll have, I think they might have too much for Portugal, but we'll see. Again, this is football, anything can happen. Look at England and Scotland. I'll be doing that separate video, but on paper it's saying England all day, but when you watch the game, you're probably thinking Scotland probably coming out a little bit aggrieved they didn't get a win. Better team, better chances. This is a bit unlucky, to be honest. England were awful, well off the pace, but again, that's a separate vid that will probably land later on today. I'm gonna record it later on this evening, so look out for that. It might be dropping a little late, maybe around after 11, something like that, maybe after 12, but look out for it. It's definitely gonna land today. And the big one for today, Portugal and Germany, probably the best game so far of this tournament, and tournament's not been great, if we're honest, so it wouldn't really be hard to top, but definitely a good end-to-end game. Germany went behind, probably a little unfortunate, definitely better with the two teams. Portugal were just sitting them on the counter, and that's how they got their goal. Ronaldo wins a header from a corner, goes out to Bernardo Silva, switches it over to Jota, rolls into the path of Ronaldo for the tap-in, and that's how it went 1-0, and there's like, oh, it's going to be upset on the cards. Well, no, that's what we thought, but around 20 minutes later, Ruben Diaz with an own goal. I believe it was a Golson cross, deflected. It was aimed for Golson cross, aimed for Havertz, hit Ruben Diaz in the back of the net. Couldn't really do much about it. Probably went with it with the wrong foot, to be honest, but it's neither here or there. It went in the back of the net, and that's all that matters. And then about 4 minutes later, same thing again. Another own goal. This time from Guerrero. I believe it's Golson again with another cross. Went across the goal, or Muller, someone hit, I can't remember who it was. But it was just all messy, clumsy, old fish, and 2 own goals in a game in the space of 4 minutes. Not great against Germany. you're looking at you're going to be in trouble. And then Havertz, he was in there for most of those chances, just didn't get the final touch. He did get a touch on this one. Nice cross from the left hand side into the empty net. Another little tap in, defence non-existent between Pepe and everyone else. It wasn't great. I believe Golson whipped it in again. He had a blinder. Good game from the Atalanta left back. And then my guy who got what he deserved, Golson, he got a goal. Nice ball from Kimmich right onto his head. Couldn't miss. Pin perfect ball, right amount of pace. All they had to do was just skid it on target and it was going in. Patricia was never saving it, and that's what he done. Definitely for me, man of the match. He was definitely the best player on the pitch by a country mile. He was involved in pretty much all those goals today. So yeah, for me, man of the match. And then obviously Jota grabbed a little consolation. They did have a little resurgence toward the end, but not nowhere near enough to do any damage, and got pretty much battered, for being real. And is what it is. Still have a chance to go through because they did win their first game, but they have it all to do against France in their next game. But that is the quick Euro roundup. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you share, and of course, as you know, it's the outro. You know how it go already. Make sure you wash your hands. If you can't wash them, sanitize. Make sure you keep your distance. This new variant ain't playing no games. Please stay safe. And of course, even if you're exempt, obviously you don't need to, but you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry. Wear your mask and enjoy the rest of your weekend, people. Do responsibly, and of course, make sure you're not staying safe. And until later on when I drop the England vid, I'm about to go watch the Spain game. So I might touch on it briefly, who knows. But that video will land today. And until then, I'm out of here. Peace.